Hi, Robin and Bill. Thanks for having me back into your home. I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure. So today, I just wanted you to know before we start that everything we discuss here will be completely private and confidential. So nothing leaves this room. Today's presentation is going to be in two parts. The first part is going to be the market evaluation of your home. I find that most sellers are really interested in what we've discovered that their home is worth. The second is going to be the marketing that we do should you choose to work with us. Okay, so we're going to start off. I'm going to ask you to put on your buyer's cap. Okay, so this is a little different, and the reason that we do that is that I'm going to present to you some market analysis, and I want to make sure that you understand it from a buyer's perspective. So there's a couple of reasons why we do this. The first one is just that our regulatory board mandates that if we work with a seller and a buyer in the same transaction, we're not allowed to discuss price. So you can imagine it's really difficult for me to be able to get you top dollar while also getting a deal for the buyer. So we can't discuss price. And often, because our team is so large, we do have the opportunity, and it's a high probability that we will bring a buyer. So the market evaluation is done from the perspective of the buyer. So whether it's me discussing the information with the buyer or another agent discussing this information with the buyer, it's the same data that's used to establish price. Okay, so understand that you are listening to this from a buyer's perspective. Is that okay? Awesome. Okay, so here is the buyer's pivot point. I just wanted to show you again, the number that we're going to come up with today based on this information is the buyer's pivot point. And that is the value that we're going to determine for your home that is used and privy to any buyer to establish the value of your home. So that's the buyer's pivot point, and we'll come back to that in a moment. So let's get to the statistics. First, we're going to go into just the basic GeoWarehouse. This is the data that's public data that we can pull. It has the information here, your name, the last sale price, the lot size. It's the specifics of your home. It also is the assessed value that the town uses to determine your property taxes. There's a picture of you. That would be the last Google picture that's done at the front of your home. It's going to have the legal description, etc., the total area, land size, as well as recorded here, and then it has the sales history. So we can see here that you're the only owner, you're the original, which is great news because buyers really like that. They like when the property hasn't transferred hands too many times. So that's fabulous. And also the square footage I pulled. So you can see that your square footage here is 2857. I think there might be a discrepancy. I know that you had some builder's plans that specified perhaps it was 3200, but the public records is showing that it's 2857. So that's the square footage that we're going to use today to base the value on. Okay. One of the next thing we're going to look at is just the street history. We're going to go back just 10 years, and as you can see here, this is the whole street for Huntington. Going back to 2007, they started at 579 all the way up to the record, which was just last fall, 1.488. So that's fabulous news. Lots of great growth in the neighborhood, and particularly your street as well. Now, there's general stats that I want to get into, and this is just basically the whole market in general. Then we're going to narrow it down a little bit to Oakville stats, and then specifically Clearview detached two-story home. Okay, so we're going to get quite specific. Some of the areas that we look at here, if you'll note, this is a summary of all home types. Okay, this is just from the Toronto Real Estate Board, and it's showing Oakville here for the month of December had 225 sales. So that's how many homes sold in all of Oakville. The average price was 1.306. The median price is 1.165. There were 170 new listings came on board in the month of December. So out of those, by the end of the month, 240 transactions took place in Oakville. Oh, that's all home types. So that's going to include condos, townhouses, etc. And then we look at going over to the other side here. The average day on the market was 38. So just over a month is the average, which would indicate a very high seller's market. Okay, so usually 0 to 3 months is a really strong seller's market. 6 to 3 would be a balanced market, and then over 60 days or 90 days will be more in line with the buyer's market. So clearly we are in a seller's market right now. In fact, some would suggest that it's a super seller's market. So even less maybe than 38 days on. But let's look at the detached homes now in Oakville. So just detached homes, which is your home type. Now this also includes bungalows. It's not just 2-story. 122 homes came on the market in December. The average sale price there was 1.731, and the median price is 1.562. So that's the median. New listings, 82 listings in detached homes came on the market in December. And moving over to, so the active listings then by the end of the month was 127. So you can see if you divide 127 by 122, it's just a little over a month. And again, it shows 34 days on market. So that's a quick turnaround. So, you know, good to know your home. If we listed shortly, it would go like that. The home price index is also another measure. Looking at the home price index here is the performance over time. And this is good because we're going to narrow right into Oakville, and we're going to go even further into Clearview, your neighborhood, and totally detached. So we're not comparing bungalows to 2-story now. We're not comparing any other neighborhood either in Oakville. We're looking just at Clearview. And what are the trends? So basically it's apples to apples. So what are the trends here? We start with the benchmark, and this is January 2006, and as you can see there's a steady incline all the way up to the peak in 2017. And if you look, there was a little dip there in January. So January 2018, the market took a little bit of a dive. It wasn't a very strong year in terms of real estate growth, but again, it picked right up. And here we are at the peak, and this is January 2021, and we are at the highest ever in Clearview. So we even surpassed the peak in 2017. So that's also good news. Now, what we're going to do now, the 3 areas that we look at to establish price for you are the actives. So basically it's your competition. It is, it will be your competition should you come to market soon. So right now there's just two in Clearview. Then we're going to look at solds, and we're going to go back 90 days. And the reason we go back 90 days is because lenders only go back 90 days as well. So anything prior to that is irrelevant. So we're really going to just look at the solds, and then if there's any expireds, which there aren't any actually in the last 90 days. Everything sells. So here we're going to look at the active listings. We've got 2232 Redbud Avenue, and then we have 1246 Winterbourne. Now the one thing that I did want to bring to your attention as well is the map. And this is a topographical map of Clearview, and what I've done here is I've indicated in pink your home. This is the subject property. And then anything in yellow are the 2 active listings, and everything else is green. These will be solds that I've plotted just in the last 90 days. So there's the map. We can come back to that as well. So here's a summary of the 2 actives that are in your neighborhood right now. Original sale price, obviously there hasn't been a price reduction in these 2 yet. So we've got Redbud at 1,349, and we've got Winterbourne at 1,479. Square footage, 2,300 and 2,400, so you surpass that actually. You're almost at 2,900, so you have a superior subject property to your competition today. Price per square foot here, $591 per square foot. That's good news. And of course, one of them has a pool. Winterbourne has a pool, which adds a lot of value to that property as well. But the thing that you've got going for you is that you're on a ravine, so that's fabulous. So these are the actives. What's more exciting are the solds, because this is where we really work to establish price. I've got the pictures here attached as well, so you can see the interior of the actives. And then we're going to flip over to the solds. Okay, here's your sold chart. Okay, and this is going to be the same information basically. So we've got the 5 properties that I chose to be the closest comparable to your property. It sold just in the last 60 days. So I've gone back 60. The market moves pretty quickly. So really we want to even take a snapshot of what's happened just in the last 30 days. 90 might even be a bit too far because last November was a long time ago and it's actually a completely different market. But we're going to look at them anyway. Okay, so we've got list price, sold price, total days on market. I've got an average here and I'm going to leave you this document so you don't have to worry about absorbing all this now. Then we've got cost per square foot and sold date, etc. What's interesting here, if you look at the average of the 5 solds that I chose to compare is 1.522. But if you take the cost per square foot, which I've established as being $579, and multiply it by your square footage, that puts your house at 1.650. Isn't that fabulous? 1.650. So I'm going to come back to this chart at the end. I just want to go through a couple of the solds with you right now, just so that you can understand a little bit about them. Okay, so here's Guildford. Guildford is, all of these properties, by the way, are smaller footprint. So in 2 ways, your lot is bigger and your square footage is bigger than all of these properties, okay? But there's still strong comparables because they're in the immediate area. Subject property, you've got larger square footage, as I mentioned. You also have a larger frontage, 60 front. The rest of these are about 48, 49, and 50 front, so yours is larger. The big thing is you're on a ravine, and that adds a lot of value, especially in Clearview, because the topography of the neighborhood is such that there's rolling hills. Some places have walkout basements, some have ravines, but most of them are towering over other homes. So you've got that advantage, you don't have that. Some of them are a little more updated, so I'm going to leave you this because you can go through the pictures. Some of them have granite and wrought iron, staircases, etc. You know, what they've done in terms of the front, the landscaping as well. At the front, you're going to be able to see. I can also send you a link to these as well if you want to look at them live. So again, we're going to look at now Darrell, 1159 Darrell, and this one is slightly smaller. It's only 2650. Yours is 2832. Listed at 1.499, sold for 1455. And there's the interiors on Darrell as well. Okay, the third property is 1279 Greenwood Crescent, just around the corner. I think you know that one. I think you saw that one. This one has got similar taxes as well. That's another measurement. It's slightly smaller. It's 2,700 square feet. No pool. And slightly on the ravine. Not so much as you. You have direct ravine. But the big thing is that the frontage is only 34 feet. Yours is double at 60. So while the home is comparable, your lot size is much superior. Now that we have done that, we've looked at all the 5 properties. We're going to go back to the summary here that I have created, and I'm going to leave this one with you. Again, just comparing the cost per square feet with your square footage of 2857, we're coming up with the price of 1654. So back to the pivot form. Now I'm just going to remind you again that this information that I presented is the same information that any agent would present to their buyer. And they're going to use this same information to establish price. Okay, so that is where we come back to your pivot form here, all right? 1650. That's your buyer's pivot point. That's the value of your home based on the information that I just laid out for you. It doesn't have anything else to do with emotional purchase or some investor coming, none of that. It's just price based on stats. If we want to go a little higher, and that's probably the market to do that, if we want to increase 5%, I would suggest going up to 1.3. I would think you could expect, rather, 1.732. That's 5% higher than the established price. A little higher than that, if you want to push it, 10%, maybe in this market, depends how soon you come to market, but maybe you could expect 1.8 for this house. Okay, so we also go on a decrease 5% lower, which would put you at 1567, and then 10% lower is 1468. That's not how the market is going right now, though. It is going up. So we start at the pivot point and then we go up 5%. 1.7 is basically what I think you could expect to get for this house. So what do you think about that? How do you feel about that number, 1.7? I also wanted to point out, though, before you answer, 30% of the buyers coming through your home are ready to buy. They have to buy. They're buying out of necessity. They're not buying out of impulse necessarily, although that might happen, but 70% are not necessarily tire kickers, but they don't have to purchase. There's not a motivating where they've sold a home and they need to buy. Only 30% of that market is coming through that needs to buy. So you eliminate almost half, right, of the buyers that are very, very serious. So knowing all of that and looking at the data, how do you feel about 1.7? Okay, great, awesome. Well, now I want to show you some interesting marketing. And this is the marketing that we're going to do for your home to promote it, should you choose to work with us. So this is the marketing we're going to do to sell your home, should you choose to work with us. And I know you're familiar with the Invidiata team. Invidiata is known for its high-end marketing. And Christopher couldn't be here with us today, so I'm just going to play a short video from Christopher, and this will only take a minute.
The Invidiata name has been trusted by families since 1985. I always say to people, if you stay still in one spot and do what you do well, you become the leader in your field. I'm happy to say that our brand has earned the respect of the marketplace. We're very meticulous about how we price properties and how we represent them. And people trust that. So you're going to see the results that we have earned over time. The comfort and the confidence. Those two key components create the Invidiata advantage. I cannot speak enough about the passion that I find from my clients. White glove service really is defined by the things that you are not expecting to occur. It's the care that we give to our clients. It's the care that we give in everything we do. And it tickles their heart and they remember you. So it's not the things we say, it's the emotion that we create with our clients. And that's the magic. That's the Invidiata advantage. We pride ourselves in giving all our clients this white glove service. No home is too big or too small to be handled with the same professional care. We look forward to meeting you and fulfilling your real estate dreams.
Okay, isn't that great? So, our advantage. Christopher has been at RE/MAX for 35 years prior to coming to EXP, and I'll go into that later, but he was #1 in Canada 15 out of 19 years. He was #1 in the world 2 years in that same time period, and #2 for another 2 years. So lots of experience here. Although he was originally known for waterfront property and luxury, that's where he started branding himself, people would be really surprised to know that 80% of our business comes from under 2 million. So luxury at any price. We sell everything from 1-bedroom condos all the way up to waterfront. He has sold over $5 billion worth of real estate to date. So lots of advantage working with us, lots of really in-depth real estate knowledge, and almost a guru. This is our team. We have 22 strong. It's a selection process, so just because you have a real estate license doesn't mean you get to be on the team. It's a fabulous team. We support each other. A couple of the things that distinguish us from other teams is that we have our own in-house marketing department. So it's separate from the company, but it's in the building. And what that does is it provides consistency through every property we sell. So again, 1-bedroom condos all the way to luxury waterfront will be the same marketing. The other thing that we have that distinguishes us is we've got our own support staff, fabulous support staff. A lot of administration goes behind the scenes, behind all this marketing. There's a lot that, it takes to get your house to market, and that team is there supporting us 24/7. The mission statement, of course, the main thing is to realize your real estate dream. So we got to find that home for you. We got to sell your home for the most amount of money in the least amount of time with the least stress possible. That's the first mission. But the second is it's not about the transition. It's not about the transaction. We pride ourselves on relationship building, and that's really where Christopher has made a name for himself. That's where his passion is. That's where all of us follow, is that relationship. We want a great relationship with you now and in the future, forever. So really strong with relationships. As I mentioned here, this is just showing the home collection, prestige, etc., all the waterfront, but we will do any luxury property, 1-bedroom condo up to waterfront. So capturing your home, really important. Everybody looks online these days. That's the first place of contact, and it has to be the first impression. So we have state-of-the-art technology in terms of photography first and videos. All right, so we're going to make sure that that's top notch. I'm going to show you some of the photography here in our brochure, and what we might do for you as well as a good night shoot as well. So we're going to light up your house and showcase your home in the evening as well. One of the interesting things that does set us apart as well is our Matterport. And we have, the Matterport is a 360-degree floor plan. So you can see here that, the buyers can zoom around the house, they can go into the floor and have a good look at the wood that's in here. They can go up to the ceiling and look at the crown molding, they can look at the front windows, the 9 and 12-foot ceilings that you have, and they can also click over to the left, go room to room. If they sort of forget what the kitchen looks like, they can just click on the kitchen. And then as well, there's a video option here too, so we can just click that briefly. And they have access to the videos here as well. So the 360-degree Matterport, really unique, and it's a great feature for online. The marketing material. So here we go. I've got some here I'm going to show you. The first thing we do is this magazine-like brochure, 4-color brochure, really high stock quality, beautiful photography as you can see. It is really like a magazine. We're going to go through room by room here. One of the things that sets us apart too is this floor plan, and basically it's not just your average one-dimensional floor plan. It has a picture associated with the room. So if people are in the laundry room or the kitchen and they forget what it looks like, the pictures correspond to the floor plan as well. That's really unique. Then we come across the write-up, the details of the home, obviously, and also a brief write-up on Oakville. So in this neighborhood, the key things to point out would be your close proximity to the school catchment area. So James W. Hill, number 10 out of 10 on the Fraser Institute, as well as OT. That's a big draw for this neighborhood as well. That's the biggest thing that's been driving the prices up in Clearview, as you know. So we're going to do a little write-up here as well. Then we're going to do the just listed cards. We do about 1,000 of these, and this is, we're going to, again, with our in-house marketing department, we're going to target your buyer, and we're going to send 500 out to who we think is your buyer. Then we're going to send out 500 in your neighborhood as well, so that everybody knows you're listed. The next thing is we do this really fancied version of the MLS listing. So this is the data from the Toronto Real Estate Board, and then on the back, again, it's high quality, high stock, fancier version of the MLS. Then we're going to look at, of course, because of COVID, some people may not want to touch this marketing at all, or perhaps in prior times, people were environmentalists and they didn't want to take all this paper home. So we have a QR code. So you simply just take your phone and scan the code, and the whole brochure and all of this is on their phone to take home. Okay, we have a beautiful magazine here, the Invidiata magazine. I'm going to get into those details shortly. This I left you. You've had a chance to peruse it a couple of weeks now. You can see the quality of this publication, but I'm going to talk about that in a moment. So we really want to focus a lot on this hands-on, sort of old-fashioned, if you will, marketing material. Then we get into the online presence, because that is really important these days. As I mentioned, 92% of people look online first to find their home. So we have to be there. We have to be online. We've got a huge online presence. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, etc. Really strong in that department. So we actually reach out to 1,100 accounts daily on Instagram. And we have about 8,600 hits on our Instagram people per month. That includes Facebook as well. And then the YouTube videos are about 12,000 views per month as well. So that's pretty strong. I'm just going to show you now just an example of what the Instagram page looks like. So we have all kinds of followers, almost 3,000 followers. We post 1,100. We get to 1,100 accounts monthly. And just scrolling through here, you're going to see on the screen our Instagram page. Going through, our listings are here. We post market stats. We have, our agents are kind of, posted here and there, and just sold, of course. I just wanted to mention here too that Christopher won recently the Top Choice Award for the GTA for 2021. So that will be posted on here. And this is where your listing will appear as well. Getting back to the presentation. The next thing, of course, once we hit the social media, so we've done the hard copies of the marketing, then we've done the online presence. We have to make sure that there's no stones unturned there. And then we're going to hit the MLS board. So the first one we're going to do is Oakville. That's your local board. And with that, though, Oakville is connected to 21 other regional boards. It's called the Regional Matrix. So they're all connected, which means anyone in Kitchener is going to see you. We're connected to Guelph, Niagara, Hamilton board, everywhere from Ottawa to Windsor and as north to North Bay. 21 boards all together. So that is the regional network. And then of course we have to be on the Toronto Real Estate Board. And that is connected with the Peel, with the Mississauga board. That's your bread and butter, really. That is where we, I feel most of your buyers are going to be coming from. We want to target Markham, Richmond Hill. Most people buy and move east to west. So we want to make sure that we're covering that entire transition, or that urban exodus, if you will, which we do with these two boards. The next one, all of these boards feed into Realtor.ca, and Realtor.ca, as you know, is the public site. It's the #1 search site for people at home looking for a home. So we're on Realtor.ca. We're going to be on the EXP website. That's our brokerage. I'll discuss that later, as well as the Invidiata.com website. Going to show you that too. And then the luxury real estate. The last one here is the Joe Y, and Joe Y is the Asian website. It's like the Chinese website. It's like the Realtor.ca essentially. But what the Chinese government does is it blocks all feeds from other countries. So our team has a relationship with Joe Y, and they accept our feed. So we're able to broadcast your listing there on their network, on Joe Y. They do rate Canada as in the top 3 countries to live in. So it's really important, and they're happy to get those feeds from us. We need to make sure that we're in front of that Chinese buyer in China. Depending on the neighborhood, and I think Clearview probably qualifies, but we would also go into the Chinese newspaper in Toronto. So we want to make sure we're in front of the Chinese Toronto buyer as well. And they also have a social network called WeChat. So we're going to make sure that we're penetrated into that as well. A lot of the buyers, I don't know what the percentage is, probably, more like 70% of the buyer coming into Clearview is from the Toronto area, and they're most likely from Asia. So that covers, Chinese as well as East Indian as well into this neighborhood. So we want to make sure that we're in their social media and in their newspapers. Broker Bay is our exclusive network. So it's the largest exclusive network in Canada. Broker Bay has 27,000 real estate agents, maybe more now. What we would do is while we're getting your home ready, while we're taking pictures and doing videos and purging, creating the copy, etc., we're going to put a coming soon sign on your lawn. That's going to attract the neighborhood buzz, the pent-up energy of the neighborhood. And then we're going to post it on our exclusive network, Broker Bay. Often that home could be sold before it even goes to market. I wouldn't suggest that in this market, but you know, it's possible. So we're going to go on to Broker Bay while we're getting your home ready. Now we're looking at the Invidia.com, and this is our website. We are among the top 10 search engines for homes as well. Invidia.com is. And I'm just going to show you an example of our website here. So this is what it looks like. Again, there's Christopher's Award, Top Choice Award, voted #1 top real estate agency in 2021 in the GTA. So that's awesome. So now we're going to scroll down. We're just going to hit a listing here. So this is what the buyers would see on our website, Invidia.com. Going to scroll down. We're going to go into Kane, for instance. And there's Kane. So the first thing that pops up is your home. Then we scroll down, and the rest of the photos that are also in this brochure are going to pop up on the website as well. Then we're going to look at the brochure if they want. If they're looking at it virtually because of COVID and they don't want to touch this one, they're going to be able to see the brochure online. So everything that we've done here in hard copy is going to also be online. Then we can also look at the floor plan. As I mentioned, it's going to be exactly duplicated in here. But the main thing too is the video. It's not letting me click on the video here, but we're going to be able to open up the video here, and people can watch from the comfort of their home. Okay, there's the video and the floor plan. So that's essentially the Invidia.com website. Then we're going to list it on the who's who in luxury. So luxury.com. It's the #1 portal for luxury real estate. And I think most people would be surprised that this includes all homes over $1 million US dollars since 1995. So anything over $1 million US is considered luxury. And these people, this organization is a prestigious organization. Christopher was invited to be a member of, also a member of the Billionaires Club as well. And it's an exclusive invitation. This is an important website because it does get 3.5 million page per views per month, which is really, really high, outperforming that of Christie's and Sotheby's as well. So I'll just show you that as well. So you see the luxuryrealestate.com certainly outperforms that of Sotheby's and Christie's as well. So that's important. They have a magazine that's published 3 times a year, and that's also sent out to our buyers. The Invidia has a magazine that you've had the opportunity to look through. It's not just for listings, it's a lifestyle magazine, and this is published 4 times a year. And we collaborate with our 40 business partners in this publication, so it's going to be a collaboration with the 40 business partners. I'll show you that in a second. You may not be in this magazine if you don't hit that the date for publication, but what this does is this magazine drives people to our website where your listing will be. So that's really neat. We do magazine launches as well. So here's our business partners. This is important. We mail out the publication to various neighborhoods, Southeast Oakville, certain areas of Burlington. Then we're going into Mississauga. We're doing Lauren Park, Port Credit, Clarkson. Then into the city, we're doing the Bridle Path, Forest Hill, Rosedale, those certain areas. But we also have a digital copy. So our marketing brand partners get a hard copy, but they also get a digital version, which then they feed into their network as well. So it just keeps going and going and going. So we've got a lot of really cool partners here that partner with us in the magazine. Staying connected, of course, agent open houses. If I were to do an agent open house, if it opens up, then I would send a private invitation to 250 real estate agents in Oakville. They would come and view your home privately with me. Public open houses, we're probably going to start with a virtual one, but we can do that once it opens up. And it was opened up last summer, and then it was taken away in the fall. So hopefully this spring, maybe we can get back to open houses. The thing that we do differently is that we have a closed door policy. So one family per view. And that really covers three things. First of all, it's better security. So we don't have people roaming around your home. So I actually put a sign on the door saying, you know, one family at a time, and lock it. The second thing is it gives me an opportunity to point out all the features of the home privately, and I can qualify them. So then we, you know, go through the home, and then I let the next family in. So that's what we're going to do with the open houses. Further to that, once we open up, we have great events, VIP events, where we invite all the buyers to. So we are always showcasing your home in that avenue, and then we do magazine launch parties eventually too. So those are kind of fun. The private in-house tracking system is exclusive to us. There we're able to track not just the solds and the expireds, but anything coming on the market as well is captured. And we, you know, that's important because you want to keep abreast of your competition as we go through this process. We can also do it all from the comfort of your home. So everything is done right from the listing presentation or the listing agreement to all the way through the offer. We have DocuSign platforms, so signatures are done electronically. And we can do the virtual open houses here. We can do a virtual staging consultation, so that if you're not comfortable with our stager coming to your home, we can do it virtually. So everything is connected and from the comfort of your home. So why EXP? As I mentioned, Christopher was 35 years at RE/MAX, and #1 in Canada, #1 worldwide, and he was also the originator of the team. So he was the first to have a team in the GTA. So much so that he now has been asked to speak on boards and different panels on the subject. So people that are creating teams now often go to him. So he said to himself, what next? What can I do next for my team? Let's go to the next level. And the next level is EXP. So EXP is not only bricks and mortar, like the traditional real estate, but if you can imagine this whole online and the World Wide Web and all the technology and global travel that we have, the industry had to change. You know, it's not what it used to be. Like everything, it evolves. So EXP is a virtual cloud-based brokerage. It's in the clouds. And that is allowed us to be the fastest growing residential real estate company in the world. Not only that, but it's a tech company. And that is really important. We're traded on the stock exchange. So this way of doing business is the future of real estate. It's the evolution of real estate. It's the way things are going. You know, if you can't adapt or adopt to this new process, then those old brokerages will be left behind. So it's the future of real estate. It's state-of-the-art technology. It's cutting edge. It's efficient. It's a tech company. It's allowing us to collaborate with all of the industry leaders, all under the cloud. As well, you'll start to see some of the bigger names, the biggest names in real estate come to EXP. So you're covered with all of this, but you're covered now with the future of real estate. These are all the awards that he's won over the years, the team, and probably, I don't think there's an award that he hasn't won. I've gone through some of those already. Giving back to the community is very important. Back to relationship building. The community is important, and these are all of our fundraising that we do, and the different companies and nonprofit organizations that we support. So what happens next? After all of that, we're putting a coming soon sign on your lawn. We are going to then upload it to Broker Bay, the exclusive network that I mentioned. So we're going to attract some energy, some excitement around your property before it goes live. We're going to do the virtual staging. If you want somebody to come in, we'll do that. If you want it virtual, we can do that as well, and that'll be the consultation. Next, we're going to do the videoing and the pictures that I mentioned to produce this great marketing. And that'll be the Matterport, the 3D virtual tour, the night shoots, the floor plans, etc. And then we're going to decide on when to go live and what boards we're going to go on, and then maybe film our virtual open house as well. The other thing that I wanted to mention before I finish here, and I'm almost finished wrapping this up, but we don't just put the sign on the lawn. That is one of the complaints that I've had, that people think real estate agents just put the sign on the lawn and walk away. We don't do that on the Invidiata team. We're very much connected. We have what's called Friday Feedback Friday. And we're going to discuss this every Friday. We'll set a time where we review everything. We're going to look at the feedback that we've had from the showings, if there's any offers that have come in that week. We're going to look at what positive or negative feedback. We're also going to look at the social online presence as well. So, how many hits did your home get on all of our social platforms as well. We can talk about the market in general, see what the trends are, if there's anything affecting the market either globally or within the GTA or even in Oakville. We can talk about bank rates, etc. Anything that's going to be affecting the sale of your home, we're going to discuss every Friday. And following that, if we come across 60 days, for instance, which is highly unlikely, but if we do, we're going to review a full analysis of everything that we've just gone through in 60 days. So we might discuss at that point a price reduction. But before we do that, we want to address any buyers that might be hanging on. So one of the unique things with the Invidiata team is we do what's called a seller reverse offer, which means that we're going to write an offer to any buyers out there. It's private, it's between you and the buyer. Nobody has to know about it. And essentially what it is I'll get an idea of the buyers that are kind of sitting on the fence. And we present an offer to them. Two things happen. They either say no or they accept and counter offer us. We do have a high success rate with this, actually, the seller's offer. It's as high as 40%. So it's worth a try. It's worth doing. It kind of eliminates those buyers that are sitting on the fence before we would consider any price reduction. I think I've covered everything. There's me, and I'm going to be your conduit to all of this. The last thing I really wanted to mention was that commission, of course, is important. So the industry standard is 5%. We recommend 2.5% to the company that brings a buyer. And we, of course, want to stay competitive. So we're able to offer 2% to the listing side. So total would be 4.5%. Now, if we bring a buyer, which I mentioned is highly probable because of our reach that we have as a team, then we can reduce that commission another 0.5%. So a total of 4%. The last thing we do, which is exciting, if you buy with us, your next purchase, then we'll take that total commission our company earns and give you back 10% in a buyer rebate as well. So that is really a nice incentive package as well. So that would be it for the marketing, and I think I've covered everything. Do you have any questions?